Listen to that. The rain is quite heavy today, isn't it? It's the perfect kind of day to stay inside, find a cozy corner, and let our needles do the talking. I saw this beautiful little dress recently. Look at how that delicate geometric pattern sits against the dark grey cotton. It's understated but so sophisticated. We're going to recreate that today on this lovely grey linen. I've already secured my linen into the hoop. We're keeping it classic with pure white embroidery floss. For our guide, I'm using simple 5mm graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, you can use a quilting ruler, but the paper method ensures your dots are perfectly symmetrical every single time. I'll pin this down, mark my guide dots along all four sides, and then we connect them. I'm using a fine tip heat erasable pen to mark these dots. Just a gentle tap on each 5 mm corner. It's like mapping out a little constellation on our fabric. Gently we'll remove the pins now. Now it's just us, the ruler and the dots. As I connect these points to form our squares, try to keep your hand light. These lines are just our quiet guides. They'll disappear later with a little heat. Watch as the grid appears. If you're making this for a dress bodice, just mark your neckline curve first, like I'm doing here, so you know exactly where the pattern should stop. A quick press with the iron and our canvas is ready. I'm using 3 strands of floss today. It gives enough definition without feeling bulky. Let's mount the hoop on the stand so you can see every movement. Now we begin. Step 1 is the humble running stitch. It's the heartbeat of hand embroidery, simple, rhythmic, and intentional. As I move horizontally across our grid, notice how the white floss stands out against the linen like tiny drops of light. Take a deep breath as you pull the thread. There is no need to rush. We are just creating the path for the beauty that follows. Today we are working on a dress bodice, but you can let your imagination lead you. This geometric grid can be captured inside a soft heart, a modern square, or even a delicate leaf shape. It's not just a technique, it's a texture you can paint onto any silhouette. Then we go back vertically. See how they form these tiny plus signs? These are your anchors. Don't rush this part. Let the rhythm of the needle going in and out be your therapy. Embroidery isn't just a craft, it's a way to slow down your heart rate after a busy day. I am bringing my needle up at the start of our first set. We count 1, 2, 3 and dive back down into the fourth cross. Now the pattern begins to emerge. We're going to work diagonally, grouping 4 of our plus stitches together. We come up, slide the needle under 2 and anchor at the 4th. Now we skip 1 row, leaving a little room for the fabric to breathe, and we start the count again. Up, then down into the 4th. It's a rhythmic dance, up over 4, down and skip. Don't worry about the corners. Depending on your shape, you might have a group of 2 or 3 at the very edge. That's the beauty of handwork. It adapts to the space you give it. As you follow my needle, you'll see these parallel lines of white floss beginning to emerge. They look like tiny silken ladders climbing across the gray linen. Now look closely right here. As I move through the pattern, you'll notice this vertical margin appearing. It's like a little path of untouched linen running between our stitches. It is so important to maintain this exact space every single time. This margin is the secret to the entire design. It's what creates the grid look and keeps our rectangles perfectly aligned. If we skip it or make it uneven, the pattern will lose its rhythm. Now take a look right here. I'm marking these vertical lines on the screen so you can see them clearly. Do you see these parallel spaces we skipped? They run like quiet little lanes all the way through the pattern. We have reached our final step, and this is where the magic truly reveals itself. We are going to repeat our diagonal grouping, but this time we move in the opposite direction. Now let's reset our focus. Starting again from the bottom right, we're going to find that margin we talked about. This is the heartbeat of our project. Count 4 crosses, then skip 1 vertical line. Alright, we've just finished our first group of 4. Now pause for a second and look at the fabric. See this empty space right next to our stitches? We must leave this gap again. Every single time without fail, we maintain that gap. It might feel repetitive, but that is the therapy part of embroidery. Once your mind catches the rhythm of 4 and skip, your hands will start to move on their own. As I move my needle to the next section, I'm making sure that vertical channel stays completely clear. It's almost like weaving a delicate fence over the linen. Some of your corners might only have space for 2 or 3 stitches, and that's okay. Just follow the flow of your unique shape. As these new lines intersect with our previous work, look closely at the screen. Do you see them? The little white rectangles are beginning to appear, framed perfectly by our grid. To frame our work, I'm adding a delicate split stitch along that curved neckline we marked earlier. It provides a clean, sturdy edge for when you eventually sew the garment together. If you want a more boho look, you could use a variegated thread that changes from white to pale blue. Or for a luxury feel, try a silk thread in the same color as the fabric for a subtle, embossed effect. One last pass with the iron to melt away those heat erasable marks, and there it is, hand-stitched elegance. Whether it's for a child's dress or a linen blouse for yourself, this pattern is timeless. Thank you for spending this rainy afternoon with me. Happy stitching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.